Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and this is Soft Flow Yoga. Thanks for joining me. In our practice today, we're going to be doing some twisting poses. However, we're going to be adding another component. It's our legs. So we'll be doing a revolving side angle pose. So it'll be a lunge and some twisting involved too. So you'll need some props for this class, and you will probably need a couple of yoga blocks. Now, if you don't have yoga blocks, you can use some hardbound books for a different pose, but for one of the postures where we'll need some props, you may want to use something a little softer, like yoga blocks or even a small pillow or rolled up towel. So you'll see when we get to that part. So we have that and something soft to sit on and kneel on. That could be a blanket, a towel, even double up on your yoga mats. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Of course, we like to start in seated, so do find a comfortable seat. Feel free to sit with your legs crossed. I like to sit in half lotus. If that's not comfortable for you, maybe just simply crossing your legs like this. This is easy pose. Or if you need to extend one leg or both legs and even sit in a chair or up against a wall if you need a little extra support. Just want to have a little bit of time so that we can get settled into our practice, and we do that with breath. So start with a few deep breaths. Nice full inhale. And an exhale with a sigh through the mouth. Good. Let's do that again. Nice full breath in and exhale. And then just continue to breathe. Breathing with intention. Notice the feeling of your breath and the sound of your breath. So we experience the feeling. Notice how your chest and your belly rise and fall with each breath. You might even notice your shoulders rising and falling. Just these very subtle movements in the body as you're breathing in and out. And you're listening to the sound of your breath, this nice oceanic sound. So if your breathing is a little soft or quiet, just turn up the volume of your breath. Now you can stay here in stillness with eyes opened. If they are opened, just gaze downward at the floor with soft eyelids, or simply close your eyes. Continue breathing out as you move inward. This is our breathing meditation. Brings us to this moment, helps us to be more present, connected, fully aware. Very nice. Just slow, steady breaths. Feeling your breath, listening to the sound of your breath. Let's add another sensation. When you breathe in, just feel the breath rising upward, filling up your lungs. A very expansive feeling up top. Then as you exhale, as you're able, draw your belly button in towards your spine. Just a slight pull and a light contraction of your abdominal muscles. This is the abdominal lock. Again, breathing in, lifting, lengthening through the spine, breath rising, filling up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly button in, connecting to your center body. These are just added sensations to keep us fully present, more aware of our entire bodies. Very good. We'll take 3 more breaths here in stillness. I'm going to add a very simple movement, and this will be our moving meditation. So when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms out and up, reaching for the ceiling, a nice big stretch. Then exhale, extend the arms out, and then back down. Let's do that again together. Inhale, reaching out, good stretch, reaching all the way up with good effort. Then exhale, reaching out, and then back down. Now just continue to breathe and move at your own pace. And I'll just give you some extra instructions to follow. Now, as you inhale and reach out and up, make sure there's a good effort. Feel as if you're going to touch the walls on either side of you and eventually the ceiling, reaching upward. And when you exhale and bring the arms down, same thing, just reaching across the room and bring the arms back down. As your arms go up into the air, perhaps you'll notice the sensations along the sides of your body, the movement in your shoulders, and again, the continued effort in the hands and fingers as they reach out and up. And we're still adding that component of breath where we inhale and feel the breath rising to fill up the lungs. And with the exhale, draw your belly button in towards your spine. Go ahead and finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. Just moving at your own pace. Take your time. And when you're complete, just bring your arms back down by your side. Your hands can just rest on your knees or in your lap and just allow your body to come back to stillness. Very nice. Since we'll be doing some twisting today, let's introduce a twist here. And keep it very mild. Again, you want to feel very tall, facing forward. I'm going to be mirroring you, so take your right hand and just place it on your right side, either out to the side or even kind of behind you. You're going to be propped up onto your fingertips like this, and just push down into the earth to help you sit up nice and tall. So you're going to inhale, press into the floor with that back hand, lifting and lengthening. As you exhale, draw belly button in towards spine. Do that again. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, draw in. Then just free up your left hand. Now, inhale again, get tall. Exhale, feel belly button pull in and start to rotate your whole torso towards your right knee. Okay, very slowly until you feel like it just naturally stops. Where it doesn't feel like you would have to force yourself to rotate more. And it doesn't have to be very far. You can see I didn't turn very far. And once you have turned, now take this free left hand. Let's bring it over here on the outer right thigh or knee just to hold ourselves in place. You're just going to continue inhaling and lifting tall. Even imagine that there was a string attached to the top of your head and you're being drawn upward. And we're still exhaling to rotate or to draw belly button in toward the spine. Twisting poses are wonderful for our core system. Okay, right through the belly. Stretches and strengthens these muscles. It also does some hip opening. And with this pose, even though it doesn't seem very obvious, we are getting a little bit more flexibility in our hips, being able to rotate, okay, turn our bodies. And you might feel this a little bit more as we get to our other rotating postures. Okay, inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale, draw belly button in. We'll free up this hand and start to unwind and face forward. Let's bring both hands to the knees and just pause here. And internally, everything's coming back to neutral. Very subtle sensation, but just give a few seconds to allow that to happen. And then we'll set up for the other side. So left hand, same thing, just propped up onto fingertips, somewhere where it's easy for you to press into the floor. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, draw belly button in. Let's do that again. Inhale, get even taller. Just sitting tall and proud in your seat. Exhale, draw belly button in. Let's free up that right hand. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, pull belly button in and start to rotate until you naturally stop. For me, it's right about here. And then using right hand over here to left thigh or knee to hold in place. Continue to grow tall in the seat. Inhale. Exhale, draw belly button in. And because of the rotation, you might even feel something maybe near the ribs or below the ribs, maybe even the waistline, because you're exhaling, engaging those muscles, and you're in this twist. Now, why do we free the hand before we rotate it? I do that on purpose so that you can really use your own muscular system and skeletal system and breath to help you to rotate rather than maybe placing the hand here first and pulling yourself into the rotation. We want to avoid that feeling. So just rotating on your own. Okay, getting ready to move. Let's inhale, get tall. Exhale. One more time, breathe in. And exhale. We'll unwind. Facing forward, internal body coming back to a neutral position. Very nice. Alrighty, so we did our twist. Let's add some back bends and forward folds in our seated posture. Let's start with our back bend. Let's bring both hands behind us now. Same sensation, still propped up onto fingertips. We're pressing into the floor. We feel the shoulders draw back. And here we'll tip the chin up slightly. Now inhale, press into the ground with the fingers. Feel the energy move up the arms. Breathing in, fill up the lungs. And because we've lifted the chin, you might even feel more of an expansive stretch and opening across the chest from shoulder to shoulder. Nice opening. Then exhale, draw belly button in towards spine. Same sensation there. Inhale, press into the earth, energy in the arms, shoulders, back. Heart opens, expansive inhale. Exhale, pull belly button in, and one more sensation, squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you to activate the upper back muscles. Now in this seated back bend, we have added more sensation, so just be aware of all these feelings within you. And when you're complete here, we'll just lower the chin, walk your hands towards yourself, sitting up nice and tall. Hands can come back around to the front, resting on the knees. Let's move into our forward fold. If your legs are crossed here, let's change this. We'll uncross the legs. We'll come to cobbler's pose. So bring the soles of the feet together. You can hold on to the ankles or shins, feet, or toes. But if you're holding onto your toes and you're bent over, maybe just slide the hands back to the shins or ankles so you can sit up nice and tall. Don't worry if there's space between the knee and the floor there. What you can do is bring in your blocks or books or rolled up towels or a small pillow so that the legs can rest here, nicely relaxed. Here we go. We're going to inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale, draw belly button in and start to hinge forward, but you're leading with your heart and your chin. And we're just hinging forward a little bit. Now that we have moved forward, maybe you can reach your toes. Inhale, keep extending through spine. Exhale, hinge forward a tiny bit more, just to the point where you start to feel a sensation in the inner legs. Nice little hip opener. I'm just going to hold here, not going any deeper, but you're certainly welcome to lower the chin, round your back, and go down a little lower if you'd like to. But not needing to force this by going too deep into the pose. We're not forcing our bodies into this pose or to any pose that we practice today. Let's take 2 more breaths. And ready to come back up. If your back is rounded, start by lifting the chin so you're re-extending your spine. Even use your hands or fingertips on the floor to help press and lift yourself up until you're nice and tall and long in the spine. Continue to feel like you're being drawn upward. Just pausing for a moment. And then we'll get ready for our next pose. I'm just going to move my props out of the way. Carefully come to hands and knees. This is where you'll need your blanket or towel or doubled up mat. I'm going to unfold my blanket so it's more of a rectangle, so I have space here so I can come to my knees on one end, hands on the other, right here. So a little tabletop, moving into cat and cow pose. We'll inhale, lift the head, open the heart as if the heart is moving forward. At the same time, your pelvis is tipping back, which creates a back bend, and the belly even feels like it's dropping towards the floor. So this is cow pose. Exhale, tuck belly button in, tuck the pelvis under, chin to chest, rounded spine. This is cat. Inhale, reverse it, pelvis tips back, heart opens, belly drops. There's our arched back. Exhale, round it all out. So just moving fluidly through these poses. I'm going slowly, but move and breathe at your own pace. A nice undulation of the spine, just adding more mobility, flexibility through the spinal column. We've already introduced a twist, so rotating side to side, and this is just getting a spinal movement in this direction. All right, 2 more breaths. And when you're complete, just pause here in a neutral tabletop posture. Your focus is directly down, perhaps between the thumbs on the floor, just making sure your neck is long and straight. All right, you're going to crawl off of your blanket. Let's set it to the side. Now we will need to use that again, so keep it handy right near you there. Return to hands and knees on your mat. Let's change this up a little bit to prepare for downward facing dog. First, if your shoulders are directly over your wrist, you want to step the hands forward so that the hands are now out from underneath the shoulders. Even spread out your fingers a little wider. You'll grip the mat a bit with the fingertips, and with the open palms, feel a stretch between each finger, and then press or lean into the palms to really open up your hands. Make sure you feel the strength and length in your straight arms. Tuck your toes. Now another cat-cow flow right here. Inhale, cow. That's the back bend, arching the back, look forward. Exhale, round it out. Feel belly button pull up towards spine. Hold here. Make sure hands are pressing firmly into the floor so you can lift the knees off the mat, sending the hips up and back as your chest and head naturally sink between the arms. If you need to, adjust your feet, maybe even your hands, so you feel solid in your pose. It doesn't feel like you're going to slip. So right here for a few moments, same sensation of pressing hands firmly into the floor. Even press them more towards the center of your palms, more towards your thumbs and index fingers. Let's take a few steps forward with the feet until you're maybe standing in the center of your mat. Just want to be sure your feet are flat on the mat. And then maybe slide the fingertips towards your toes so you're in forward fold. Just briefly, we'll inhale, slide the hands up to the shins or knees to rise up just halfway. Just get a sense that you're parallel to the floor, maintaining a lengthened spine. That same energy moving through the top of your head. Okay, now directly forward, but also an energy moving through your hips and tailbone to the wall behind you. Hands are just resting on the shins for now, but get a sense of what this feels like in the legs. Okay, we'll be doing twisting poses, and they're going to also affect our legs. So this is kind of getting the legs fired up a little bit so we get prepared. Now let's start to stand. Start by shifting your weight into your heels so your toes feel light. You can probably tap your toes. Bend your knees to lower your hips a little bit. Bring hands to thighs and just press and just rising up partially here. So we're at 45 degrees. We're in a chair pose. You want to feel an energy of imagining you're sitting back and down into a seat. You are going to continue to feel the strength in the legs and even more core sensation here. This is one of the poses we'll be working with when we get to our twisting postures. All right, keep pressing into the thighs to help you stand up. So you're straightening your legs, standing up, looking forward. Then inhale, get taller by extending both arms up into the air. And exhale, extend the arms out and then down to your sides. We made it to our first standing posture. This is mountain pose. Feel free to circle the shoulders a few times. I like to circle them backward and forward and kind of shake things loose here too. Okay, we're going to go through our half salute to the sun. Basically, we're going to start in standing, do a forward fold, and come right back up. Okay, starting at this top of the mat. Here we go. Inhale, extend the arms into the air. Big stretch, reach up, exhale, take the arms out to the side, bend your knees and sit back again into that imaginary chair. Your hands can come to thighs. Pause for a moment, again, feeling the energy in the legs. You might even feel this in the hips and glutes. And we're just going to slide down the legs as we fold. Now, it might just be a partial fold, or just continue to move very slowly until you come to a complete forward fold, where your fingertips might touch your toes. That just might mean bending the knees more. Let the head release so your head, or the top of your head, crown of your head, feels like it's moving towards the earth. There's a nice roundedness in the spine. Shoulders feel loose. So maybe once again, circle the shoulders. Shake your head gently. Nod yes. Shake your head no. Let's return to standing. Again, we'll shift the weight into the heels. Bend your knees, lower your hips. Hands to thighs to help press and lift ourselves back up to this modified chair pose. Hold for a second. Firing up the legs again. Push into thighs, but also driving heels into the floor to give energy in the legs so you can straighten them, get nice and tall. Inhale, reach up high, energy through fingertips. Exhale, arms return to your side. Very nice. Little circle of the shoulders if you'd like, and again, just kind of shaking things out. Okay, let's move into our variation of Warrior 1, which is a lunge, and we might add a Warrior 2 side angle and one variation of a little twist. We'll see how things go here. Just getting things set up, just kind of breaking things down. But first, our variation of Warrior 1. We like to start in mountain pose, soften the knees a little bit, start shifting weight into right foot, lean forward a little bit so you can feel your toes grip the mat, so that this left leg and left foot feel light. I'm just going to lift the heel and just start tapping the left foot back until it just stops right there. And then this leg is going to turn out so you can turn the leg, plant the heel into the floor. So we have a little bit of a separation between the feet. This is a nice light lunge, getting us ready for our Warrior 1 variation. Go ahead and place hands on hips. You want to feel as if you're trying to press or push your hips or pelvis downward with some effort, but also get tall and lengthened through the spine here. That should create some space in the belt line so we can turn to face forward. So we're facing the same direction as the right knee and toes. Now that we've done that, inhale, extend the arms all the way up, straight up. Then exhale, bend elbows here 90 degrees, just like that. So again, a variation of Warrior 1. We want to feel balanced on our 2 feet, even though there's a slight distance between the feet. Arms have extended, they're up in the air, but we've bent the elbows. All right, inhale, re-extend the arms straight up. Exhale, arms out and down. Now here, I'm just going to lean forward, putting a little bit more weight into this front foot so this left foot feels lighter so I can lift the heel. I'm just stepping back, just creating a little bit more space between the feet here. So I'm facing forward still. Inhale, extend the arms all the way up. This exhale, turn your torso towards the left side of the room as your arms come down to parallel right here. So we're in Warrior 2. Now what I like to do, now my left leg, feels like it's kind of turned in, especially in this area. So I like to open this up. So I just turn the foot out, but it's actually a whole leg rotation outward. It just feels like there's more space here now. Here's my Warrior 2. And again, the feet are farther apart, but doesn't feel as wide as my typical Warrior 2 position. Alrighty. Side angle pose. I'm going to reach out here just to angle the upper half of the body. Start to rotate the arms, maybe at this angle. Right hand's just going to come to this thigh just for support. Continue extending this left arm straight up into the air like so. So a nice side angle pose. Our featured pose today is revolving side angle pose. And that just means we're going to be twisting. So let's just introduce a mild twist here. So I'm just going to inhale and just reach up a little higher with this left hand. As I exhale, I'm just going to turn and bring left hand to right thigh. Pushing into the thigh with my hands and extend. Now my leg feels like my left leg feels like it's turned out too much. So I'm going to turn it in a little bit. That feels so much better. So everything, my hips feel a bit more square facing forward. I'm going to keep my left hand on my right thigh. Take my right arm out to the right side of the room. Inhale, feeling as if I'm still moving forward. Then exhale a slight rotation to the right. I'm going to bring the right hand behind me as best as I can and just rest it on my low back. So this is basically our side angle that's revolved or twisted but modified. Okay, I'm going to free up my right hand, bring it around to the front, back to this thigh. My body is naturally unwinding. And since I've got some weight forward, I'm going to step forward into a little chair pose, standing up nice and tall, extending the arms all the way up into the air just to re-lengthen through the entire body, and then arms down to the side. Okay, let's do that same variation on the other side, moving through this sequence. Let's bend the knees a little bit. Shift weight into left foot, leaning forward, gripping the mat with the left set of toes so I feel that lightness in the right foot. I'm lifting the right heel, and just take your time just tapping it back until it just naturally stops. I'm going to rotate that leg out, plant the heel. There's my balance between 2 feet, not too much distance between the feet. Hands on hips, pushing down, but also feeling the torso lift. This left knee is still pointing forward and it's bent, and I turn to face that direction. Inhale, reach both arms all the way up. Exhale, bend elbows to 90 degrees. Once again, our variation of Warrior One. We'll hold this for a couple of breaths just to get that sense of balancing. With the lunge, we'll add on. Here we go. Inhale, extend the arms straight up. Exhale, arms back down to your side. Let's widen our stance. Again, we're just shifting weight into this front foot so I can pick up that back heel and just take a step back. Still balanced here. Inhale, extend the arms into the sky once again. Exhale, turn torso towards the right side of the room now. Arms come down to parallel. Pause. Let's check in with the legs. Left knee and toes still pointing forward. If you need to, continue to outwardly rotate that back leg so there's more opening in that right hip. So here's our Warrior Two. Setting up for side angle. So I'm reaching forward to angle the upper half of the body. Now I'm trying to stay centered. Don't want to put too much extra pressure in that front knee with this shift. Rotate the arms about 45 degrees so I can bring left hand to left thigh for support, and then right hand all the way up towards ceiling. So here's my variation of side angle pose. Taking a couple breaths here, and then we'll do our variation of the rotation, or revolving or twisting. All means the same thing. Here we go. Breathe in. Exhale. I'm going to bring this right hand down, turning to face forward a little bit. Hands to thigh. Now, because my right leg feels like it's way turned out, I am going to turn it in a little bit, help to square out the hips so things feel like they're facing forward. We'll keep right hand on thigh, left thigh here, left arm out to the side like an airplane wing. Inhale, extend like you're going forward through the heart and head. Exhale, start to rotate a little bit to the left, not much. And then just to make sure this arm doesn't get too tired, I'm just placing my left hand on the low back. You can even be on left hip. So we've created this rotation with the lunge. So you can probably already feel sensation in the legs as we rotate here. We're going to do several other variations of this. Okay, let's free up that left hand. Bring it around to the front so that begins that unwinding. Shifting forward into this front foot. So I can pick up that back foot, step together in our modified chair pose. Let's stand up tall. Inhale, reaching into the sky, and exhale, arms down to your side. Very nice. All right, let's continue our flow. So basically a warrior 1 and warrior 2 in our second versions. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Exhale, spread your wings, again sitting back into the imaginary chair, bend your knees. You can always bring hands to thighs if you'd like. Even pause in this chair position, but then slide down the legs to your forward fold. Pause when it feels right for you. If you're able, look between your knees towards the wall behind you. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins a little bit to extend the spine. So re-extend it nice and flat. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees even more so your hands get closer to the floor so you can place your hands on your mat and step, walk both feet to the back end of your mat and then lengthening through the body so you're in plank pose. So my hips are at about shoulder level. Hands pressing firmly into the floor, strong arms, plank pose. Breathe in. Exhale, bend knees, send hips into the air, chest sinking between the arms. Here you might need to tiptoe forward a little bit. Again, you don't want to feel like you're going to slip out of your pose. Knees can be very soft here. That should allow the hips to lift a little higher and maybe your chest sinks a bit more between the arms. Let's move into our second variation of Warrior 1. Start by stepping the left foot to the center of your mat. Left foot to center. Pick up right foot. Inhale to extend the leg behind you. Doesn't have to be high, just long and straight. As you exhale, bend this right knee. Bring the right knee in underneath you towards your chest. You'll shift your whole upper body forward until your shoulders are over your wrists. You're going to set this right foot down, just the toes. We're going to set the left knee down. And then pull the weight away from the hands by sitting back so you can free this right hand. Go get your right foot. Let's pick it up and place it up a little higher on the mat, right there. Let's relift this left knee. I'm going to turn that leg, that same kind of outer rotation we did earlier, plant that foot. I'm going to walk the hands back so I can put even more weight into this back foot because I do want that even distribution of weight in the feet. Right knee is bent, knee and toes are pointing forward. Just crawl up the leg. Bring your hands, both hands, up to your right thigh. Nice extension of spine. Make sure this left foot feels anchored or pressed into the floor. So you have this balance even though we're at this angle. You should be able to free your hands. Airplane wings or take the arms out to the side. Rise up and then reach all the way up. Inhale to get here and exhale to finish the lunge. Here's our second variation of Warrior 1. More distance between the feet. We want to find that center so we have balance. Arms extending straight up. Let's continue. Inhale. Exhale, rotate or turn, really, your left or to the left side. Arms come down to parallel. I'm going to continue opening up through the left hip by turning the leg out. More space here. Side angle, reach out, maybe a little bit more if you're able. Rotate the arms. Maybe your hand still comes to the thigh, but if you're low enough, maybe you can bring your forearm down to your thigh as the left hand reaches into the sky. Breathe in. We're going to continue moving from here. Exhale, turn. Bring both hands to thigh. I'm going to put a little bit more weight forward because I'm going to rise up onto my tiptoes behind me. Okay? So everything, all 10 toes are pointing forward. Now this might create a little wobble in the body. No worries. Because what we're going to do here is carefully bring this left knee to the floor. Okay, now we want some padding here. So I'm just going to kind of come down, get my blanket, bring it in, relift this knee so I can place the pad underneath the knee and then just climb back up the leg. So if you need to do that, go ahead and do that if you need a little extra cushioning underneath this left knee. We're going to do another rotation. Okay. So this right leg is bent at 90 degrees. Left leg is also bent at 90 degrees. Hands on thigh. We're going to push directly down into the mid-thigh so we can maintain this nice lengthening of spine. That same string is attached to the crown of your head, drawing you up. Exhale. Now, I'm going to take my right arm forward and just kind of swing it out to the right side slowly because I'm going to inhale and then start to exhale. And as the arm continues to go, my torso is also going. Now, I should have freed up this left hand. Okay, so I'm just rotating on my own muscles, skeletal system, and breath to help rotate until I naturally stop. And then I can now replace this left hand on thigh to hold on. And if this hand and arm get tired, let's just bring it down, maybe to right hip, or if you're able, to low back. So nice and tall, rotating here. We can add a little something here. I'm kind of leaning back a little bit to help take some of the pressure off of this right foot. I'm just wiggling those toes forward. Okay, so now my ankle is no longer underneath the knee. Then start to lunge forward a little bit, but keep lunging so I get into this left hip flexor. But making sure as I lunge forward, this right knee, stays stacked over the ankle. But I'm still rotating, so I might even come at an angle here. So you can see and feel how you're working your legs because we're in a lunge, but we're also rotating. We can go a little further if you're able. I'm freeing this left hand. Now, hopefully a block is nearby. I should have had you bring your blocks in a little closer. So if you need to, break pose to get your blocks or books. So you can place the blocks on the floor here, left hand on the blocks, or maybe even lower down to the floor if you want to get lower. And you can see we're deepening this lunge, maybe rotating more, and if you want to, even extending this right arm back. So working the legs and our twist. I'm going to bring my right hand to my low back. Actually, I'm going to bring it around to the front of this front right knee so I can actually unwind. Push into the leg. Actually, I'm just lifting the hips, pulling back. I'm going to bring both hands to the floor on the inside of this right foot and actually way over to the left edge of my mat so I can easily free up this right leg and just kind of swing it back behind me, coming to my knees. And then just realigning the body. So I'm on hands and knees here, and since we're here, cat and cow. So we did a rotation. Now let's go back to the undulation of the spine, moving through cat and cow. So that's several versions of rotating the torso, but involving the legs. Let's do the other side. Now I am going to move the blanket out of the way. Just going to put it over here to my left side, and we'll set up for down dog. Same thing. Step the hands forward, hands out from underneath the shoulders, spread out your fingers, grip the mat, stretch between each finger, lean into the hands, open palms, strong straight arms, tuck your toes. Here comes cow, that's the inhale, back bend, exhale cat, round it out. Lift knees, send hips into the air, chest and head sink between the arms. Adjust the feet, adjust the hands so you don't slip. Arrive in your pose. Here we go. I'm going to step the right foot to center for balance. Pick up left foot off the floor. Inhale, extend the left leg straight back.
Doesn't have to be high. Exhale, bend this left knee, bring it in underneath you towards chest, shifting forward so your shoulders are over the wrists. We'll set this left foot down, just your toes. Doesn't matter where it lands. Then set the right knee down. Pull the hips back so you can take the weight off the hands. Use your left hand to go get the left foot. This is how you'll get this foot to the top of the mat. This is just in case you aren't able to get this foot all the way up the first try. You can do it this way. Left hand returns to the floor, lifting the right knee. Pivot right heel to the floor, but there's still not a lot of weight back there, so I step the hands back, pull the hips back so I can get more weight into that back foot. Let's start climbing up the leg. Hands to thigh. Push into thigh to help extend spine. I'm about at 45 degrees, right about here. Good anchoring of that back foot into the floor so I can easily free my hands. Reach out, reach up. Second version, Warrior One on our left side. Inhale, exhale, lunge. Hold for a moment. Notice the sensations. Good balance. Facing forward, arms straight, and maybe a hip flexor stretch and release on the right side. Here we go. Inhale, exhale, turn to the right. Arms to parallel, Warrior Two, adjusting this back leg and foot as needed. Arriving in Warrior Two, ready for side angle. Reach out. Maybe a little bit more. Rotate the arms again, left hand to thigh, or if you can, a little lower, left arm to thigh, reaching straight up into the air. Not going to be here too long. We are going to be coming back to this a little bit later. That's why we're moving right through it. Breathe in. Exhale, turning. So I can bring my hands to the thigh right here again. Shifting forward so I can rise up onto my tiptoes behind me. Heel lifted, all 10 toes pointing forward. So I can gently, and maybe the hands on thigh hopefully will give you some support. So I can bring this right knee down to the floor. Okay, this is where we'll need that pad again. So break pose. So you can bring in your pad if you need it. Underneath the right knee. Hands on thigh. Nice right angles in both legs to begin with. I'm just pushing down into the middle of the thigh here. Not your knee, but here in the thigh. And lift up, string attached to the top of the head. Exhale. Okay, I'm going to take my left arm out to the side here. Free up the right hand so we can rotate on our own. Inhale, feel lifted up top. Exhale, pull belly in. Maybe the arm starts to swing out, but then let the torso follow until you just kind of naturally stop. For me, it's about here. Then we'll kind of hook the right hand on the outer thigh to hold ourselves in place. Now, if this arm gets tired, and it probably will, just go ahead and bring the left hand to hip or to low back. I like low back because I can feel like I'm still pressing downward to create space, but also pushing down to lift up. So here's our rotation here. Stay in the rotation. I feel pretty balanced here, but I'm going to lean back just a bit so this left leg in front feels a little bit more loose, and I can wiggle the toes forward. Okay, changing that right angle. And then I can start to lunge forward and actually lean forward like so. So I'm still in my rotation, turning to my left, but now starting to feel a stretch in the right hip flexor. So legs are still working. Of course, this left leg is helping to support our body. You can go a little lower and deeper or stay here. This is where your blocks might come in handy. I'm going to bring in one block. I think that's enough for me. One block so I can just put the hand down on the block. I'm still going down a little bit with the upper body, rotating a bit more. And if you want, just for a little try, even just for a few seconds, extending this left arm out behind you. Continue to notice what's happening in the upper body as well as the legs. Okay, I'm going to bring this left arm around, which helps to unwind. Lifting the hips, pulling back. So I'm getting out of the pose, out of that deep lunge. Sending both hands way over here to the right side. So I can free up this left leg. I'm just going to swing it around so I'm on my knees and bring the hands back to center. So here's our tabletop posture, cat and cow. Alrighty. I'm crawling off the blanket. Moving my blanket over there to the right for now. I'm going to bring my blocks or books over to left side. Return to down dog. So we're tucking toes, lifting hips into the air. Okay, so going back to our Warrior 1, Warrior 2 sequence. Stepping left foot to center. Inhale, extend right leg into the air. If you're able, on the exhale, send right foot all the way to the top of the mat or just behind the right hand. Or do that breakdown like we did earlier. If you made it here, go ahead and pivot or left heel to the floor. Okay, find that center, good anchoring of that back foot on the floor. Hands come up to thigh to help climb up, rise up to about 45 degrees. Good anchoring still in that back leg. Inhale, rise up, reach up into the air, Warrior 1. Still moving, exhale, turn to the left, Warrior 2. Arms to parallel, adjusting this back leg as needed. Here comes side angle, reach out, maybe a little bit more, hand or arm comes down to the thigh while left hand reaches into the air. All right, now we're ready for our final version of the revolving side angle pose. We do need those blocks or books. Breathe in, exhale, rotate here, turning so I can bring my hands to my stacked books or blocks, rise up onto tiptoes, everything's turned and facing forward. I'm extending the right arm out to the side like an airplane wing. I'm inhaling to extend this back leg, this right arm, and through the head to extend the spine. Exhale, continue rotating to the right. Now I'm going to keep my right hand in the air for now. Now it's not reaching straight up. You probably can't tell, but it is reaching kind of out at an angle. So this is our revolving side angle pose. Inhale. We're going to exhale, fold. I'm going to move my blocks forward, and I'm kind of shifting my body forward and back because I want to kind of step forward. I'm kind of giving myself a little bit of a push and launch so I can step the left foot to the top of the mat so I'm in a forward fold. Now this is where you're going to need a pillow, a blanket that's rolled up, a towel that's rolled up, or a soft yoga block. I'm going to sit down into my chair pose, bring hands to thighs. I'm placing a book or block, actually the soft prop like a block or rolled up towel between the knees or thighs. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see this. So I'm just holding on to the block here. Now if you feel pretty balanced here, bring hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthening through spine. Exhale, pull belly in, and you're going to rotate a little bit to your right. To your right. Now, you want to make sure you're holding on to your prop between the knees. That should keep everything stable, aligned. Hips are aligned, knees are aligned. Only thing that's rotating here is the upper body. You can feel this in your legs, I'm sure. That's the purpose. That's our intention. Inhale. Exhale, unwind, hands on thighs. Release your prop, slide down. And just with the blocks or books that you're using, place them on the right side. If you've got that rolled up towel, just have it in front of you. Hands on the floor. Bend your knees, walk or step the feet back. Straighten the body, plank pose. Going through that whole sequence, other side. Inhale. Exhale, bend knees, send hips into the air. Downward facing dog. Make adjustments with feet and hands. Settle into the pose. We're stepping right foot to center. Inhale to pick up left foot to extend. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, landing behind the left wrist. Pivot right heel to the floor. Send the weight back into that foot. Balanced, aligned. Hands on thigh to help you lift, help extend spine. Make sure you have that sensation. Balance, good anchoring of that back foot. Inhale, arms out, then up. Exhale, finish the lunge, warrior one. Inhale, good reach. Exhale, opening warrior two. Make your adjustments with feet and legs as you need to. Right away, side angle, reach out. Rotate the arms, either hand or arm to this thigh. Right hand reaching up. Here's side angle. We're ready to revolve. Inhale. Exhale, turn. Now we're bringing this right hand down to, you could bring it to the floor, but we're bringing it down to our stacked blocks. It just lifts you up a little higher. So you can rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. So all 10 toes are pointing forward, your hips are square. Extending left arm out to the side, that's our airplane wing. We're inhaling to extend that back leg, left arm and spine through the crown. In the exhale to rotate here. Stomping where it feels natural for you. It's really nice having these blocks. Otherwise, we'd be too close to the floor and you wouldn't have the space in the waistline to rotate open. At least I don't. That's why I like having this lift. Okay, I'm going to inhale. Exhale, unwind. All right, moving my blocks kind of forward here and kind of launching myself forward, stepping the right foot to the top of the mat. So I'm in forward fold. Bring in that other prop so you can place it between the thighs. Hands to thighs, press and lift so we're in our chair pose. Once you feel balanced here with your prop between the knees, bring hands to heart. Inhale, lengthening through the spine. It's going to feel like you're getting out of your chair. Exhale, rotate to your left. Strong legs, strong core in this rotation. Hips are square or hips are aligned, knees are aligned. Doing really good work. Breathing in. Exhale, unwind, hands on thighs. And don't forget to grab your props, slide down. We're done with those. Inhale, re-extend spine. Exhale, bend the knees, fold more, hands to the mat. Step back, plank pose. This should straighten everything out. Pause, and then bring knees to the floor. We'll sit back briefly in hero pose, then off to the side. Swing the legs around to the front. Very nice. We're just going to scoot forward. Just want to have some space behind you so you can roll down onto your back. Go ahead and bring knees to chest. If it feels good, a little massage by just adding some movement, whatever feels good. I also like to circle the feet, get into the ankle joints. We're going to do a quick twist to both sides since we are including twists in our practice today. So gently taking both knees over to the left side, perhaps extending right arm straight up and then out to the right side. It really kind of mimics some of the other poses we've done. Now we're just in this lying down variation, a little bit more relaxed perhaps. And just a couple of breaths and just notice what's happening in your body. Notice the feelings here. This feels really good in my hips and my back. Just 2 more breaths. You can certainly stay here longer, but when you're ready, come back up to center. I like to hold in center so you can feel the body realign naturally. And then when you're ready, taking knees to the right side. Left arm perhaps extending straight up first and then out to the side. And you can feel that rotation enter the body. Breathing in and out, feel a settling into the pose, almost a relaxation into the pose, and then pay attention to the feelings that arise. And just 2 more breaths.
stay here longer if you need more time on the second side. And when you're ready, slowly and carefully return to center, hugging the knees into the body. And then just set the feet onto the floor. Pause. Take a breath. And from here, we're moving right into Shavasana. Just extending the legs out in front, arms just resting down by your side. Take a nice full inhale, even tense up the body a little bit, so that when you exhale, you can sigh and relax. Feel the complete release as you melt into the earth. Now your eyes can remain open and just gaze upward with soft eyelids, or close your eyes completely. Just as we did at the beginning of practice, we were in meditation. First, just a breathing meditation and a moving meditation. Now we return to meditation here in stillness. Perhaps just focusing on the sensation of the breath. Here, the breath doesn't have to be too loud, but certainly feel it. Allowing your body to relax. So maybe just checking in and notice if there's parts of the body that are still engaged or flexed or tense. And as best as you can, let it go. Continue to notice your breathing. If your mind began to wander, that's okay. Just take a deep breath, and that should bring you back to this moment. Stay as present as you can. Now you're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like in this wonderful meditative state of mind and body. Even as I end the practice and come up to seated, you can stay here in Shavasana. When you are ready to move, start with breath. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. So more intentional breathing, feel the rise and fall of your chest and belly. Listen to the sound of your breath, so do turn up the volume. Feel the movement. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Move your feet and hands. And feel that energy move through your entire body. Movement is returning. Take your time. And then sometime after your 5th breath, and you feel like you can move your body with ease, slowly and carefully roll to one side of your body. You might pause here in this nurturing pose. And then continue to move in slow motion and guide your way up to seated. Feel free to bring in something soft to sit on. Crossing your legs. Nice and tall. And your hands can just rest on your knees or in your lap, or bring hands to heart center. Wherever you are, taking one more full and complete breath in and out. And as we come to the close of our practice, we bow saying, Namaste. Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.